Hey guys, so looking at Lostleblanc's Instagram and editing style today, and before I get into it, I just want to say links to his content is in the description and make sure to go give him a follow. Right, what I notice is a slight teal and orange grade with quite a lot of magenta, a slight fade in the blacks, exposes pretty well and quite often uses the natural colours, spends most of his time shooting around the 24 or 35mm range. It looks like he used to always use the natural colours, but more recently it is incorporating more grading. So we're going to have a look at those and let's get into it. Right, as you can see, this is our reference image and this is our image. And what we're going to do is make a teal and orange LUT out of this, and then we're going to apply it to all the other images we're going to go through, and then we're going to tweak them to each image. So this is going to create our base LUT, and it will apply very well to most images, but not perfectly, but then we can change them after we've applied the LUT. So let's get into it, and I'm going to start by slightly decreasing the exposure. Up in the contrast, taking down those highlights. Shadows coming up. Bring the whites up slightly. Dropping those blacks. Right, onto the tone curve. Pretty much your normal tone curve. And bringing those blacks up. He uses a bit of a fade. And that looks good for now. HSL sliders. Bring those yellows more to an orange. And I doubt his grass in this image is this green. So we're turning really green grass into orange. And I presume his grass was already kind of orange. So I'm just going to show you how to get this look anyways. But we will have to change it when we apply it to other images. Desaturate them a little. Bring the greens right down. As you can see, his pants are really starting to pop. And luminance is really going to give that shine to the grass. And split toning. So we're going to say about there. Just go do a little bit. I meant to click on shadows. And sharpening really depends on the image, so probably leave it down. all the way down, maybe a very slight vignette, but I don't really like adding vignettes to Luts. It makes it quite difficult to see how the image would look. And our last change that will really give us our look is down here. And that's it. And now what we need to do is, we've lost our sky, so grab this filter, drag it down, make it skinnier, place it on the horizon, and the dehaze is what's going to really bring back your sky. So we want just about as much as what he does. And we'll leave it like that. So it's pretty bright sky, but it's okay. So there's our before and after. I think they look pretty good. And make this into a LUT. So come up here, click here. At Lostleblanc. Don't click white balance and don't click exposure. I have been clicking white balance in my previous tutorials. You might want to go back and change that, but yeah, keep it unchecked. So now our LUT's down here, and let's move on to our next image. So this is our second image, and let's apply our LUT. And I know it's not going to look great straight away because our last image was so bright and this image was so dark. So let's bring up the exposure, and the last one, the greens were so green, and this one, the greens were already kinda on the yellowish side. So now they'll be made really, really orange. So we need to bring that back just a little. So we need to expose the image right. Bring the shadows up more. Bringing the whites way down. And blacks. Can stay there. And because we copied over our LUT, we don't have to do curves. Won't have to do all of these. A lot of these can stay the same. Onto saturation. Bring greens up. Moving down, luminance. Very important. And now our greens are looking much more like these greens over here, just slightly more on the yellow and warmer side. We'll do a bit more split toning as well. And I'm going to put a vignette on this one, as he quite obviously has a vignette on there. grain. And calibrations can stay the same. So I think they're looking very similar. And one thing we can do, our waterfall looks so white. So I'm just gonna try to paint over the waterfall. And I'm just gonna take down the exposure. Some dehaze and take down the whites. And now our waterfall isn't just plain white, you can see some detail in it now. And moving on to our next image. So we have a very purple looking image, and he quite often uses this look with the sunsets. So what we're going to do is apply our first LUT and then go about creating a magenta cast to the image so it looks like this. So some things will stay the same, quite a bit will have to change though. To colors, the hues can all stay the same. Saturation, can stay the same. Luminance, I'm gonna drop these a bit, lift them a tad. And greens can stay the same. Split toning is where it really happens. So we're going to bring 4 up to 16. Maybe, yeah, 16 looks good. And then quite a bit in the shadows. And that has really created a similar looking image. And sharpening depends on the image. You could enable profile corrections if you wanted. Add some grain. And I think that's good. So I'm going to save this image as a LUT as well. I save LUTs all the time because you can just test them really fast and it doesn't really matter. You can just delete them, they're so quick to test, and then sometimes you'll come across one that's your new favorite that just works on every photo. I think we're up to 4 or 3. I'll put 4 and create. We're only up to 3. And yeah, so let's apply this one to another image. This one. So it's another purplish magenta cast. Looks really good with sunsets. So our image, we will go for this one. And let's apply the LUT we just made. And already looks super good. Just drop the blacks, create a bit of contrast. And I think that looks great for one click. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. And let's go for another sunset. Right, so let's apply that same LUT. Looks good. He's got a bit more orange, so yeah, we're gonna have to expose and let's go about getting it a bit better. And most things can stay the same actually. What we're going to do is, instead of a deep purple, we're going to try to warm it up a bit. By putting more of a gold or orange into the highlights. And some reds into the shadows. And maybe could put a very slight vignette on it, but what we're going to do is add a radial filter. And we're just going to up the exposure. And then when you add exposure, you want to add contrast as well. What we'll do, we'll feather it out a lot and then make it bigger. And it would look much better if there was an actual sun setting back there. But I think they look super similar. And yeah, save that one as a LUT as well if you want. And then you've got another sunset LUT. And I might actually just do that. We're up to 4 LUTs, I think. And create. And what you could actually do is make a sun. So if we add another filter but make it small, looks a bit more like a sun. Let's be warmed up. Looks a little too obvious. Right, moving on. So we've got one more image, and this image here and this image. And I really like this image. It's got awesome colors, really awesome colors. And I just want to show you, if we apply our latest LUT, that's what we get. We get those awesome colors. It's a real light, reddy purple, and it just looks awesome. And it's got the teals, and you get it with one click. Could change it slightly by moving the orange hue. So if you want to go a bit lighter, a bit darker, it was really good how it was. And I just think that looks really, really good. And I just want to show you all the befores and afters. So we had the waterfall one, before, after. Sunset, before, after. Had the city. And we had our mountain. And we had our very first one. Oops. Before and after. So I reckon they are looking really good, and if you went through and you saved all 4 of these, just looked at the settings, then you would have a good set of Luts that would look really good. Slightly on the teal and orange side with a bit of magenta, looks really good, especially for sunsets. And that's about it. So make sure you go give him a follow and comment down below who you guys want to see. Leave a like, and I hope you really enjoyed this, learnt a lot, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.